It was a dreary and raw January day in 1980. Snowbanks lined city streets in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Darlene Pollock was standing in several inches of slush outside of her neighborhood convenience store, waiting to be picked up by a pimp. It was her 14th birthday.
I just kind of looked out at a three-way intersection. I wondered, can anybody see me?
But no one noticed Darlene as she climbed into a black Lincoln Continental and headed north. She was just sold to a businessman in Atkinson, New Hampshire.
My buyer was very, very happy and tickled when I awkwardly took off my socks frozen to my feet, and I lost my balance. He just giggled. And I'll never forget that moment because it sort of solidified for me that I was not actually a person, but just an implement for the use of someone's sexual gratification.
You see, Darlene was just beginning a journey into a dark, dark world many of us know little about. But it's one that is all too familiar for Jasmine Grace Marino.
You're not seen as a human. You're looked at as a product to be bought and sold.
Jasmine was 19. Her trafficker was a man who she thought was her boyfriend. The two dated for months. They were in love, or at least that's what Jasmine thought.
So he had total ulterior motives. I had no idea that I was, going to become his first one. He didn't have any other women working for him at the time. He was from the streets. He sold guns and drugs, and he knew that selling women would be a lot more profitable and a lot less risky.
Darlene and Jasmine were trafficked for several years. Darlene was passed between 4 different buyers. Jasmine was sent to a massage parlor in Hartford, Connecticut, before she was moved to another one in Kittery, Maine.
And it was a really weird situation because I was a runaway. I could have left, but it was this strange thing where I didn't.
The best they can do is to beat you down and to also make you believe that you chose this life of prostitution.
Darlene and Jasmine did not grow up in traditional homes and dealt with struggles at an early age. Circumstances traffickers look for in their victims, says Tori Neville, director of the New Hampshire Human Trafficking Collaborative Task Force.
Unfortunately, one of the things that traffickers are really good at is meeting a need. And so whether that need might be related to a drug addiction, whether that need might be related to neglect that a child is facing, whether that need might be socioeconomic.
In 2021, task force investigators responded to more than 100 tips about human trafficking in New Hampshire, with potential victims in every county ranging in ages from 3 to more than 60 years old. More than 80% of those tips were for sex trafficking.
That type of trafficking co-occurs with some other violations like sexual assault or child abuse, and so it's more likely to be reported, and then we're able to identify, oh, there was actually trafficking elements in this case.
But actually prosecuting an offender can be difficult, especially when it comes to getting a victim to testify against them.
That in and of itself is a traumatic experience, and that requires a lot of support and a lot of compassion on the part of investigators and prosecutors to build those cases.
There's also a push from the federal level down. Right now, Attorney General Merrick Garland and the Justice Department are working with states to come up with a new strategy to combat human trafficking.
That's going to take a number of different forms. It's going to involve prosecuting the criminals who are engaging in this activity, training individuals to identify this activity.
Darlene and Jasmine have now dedicated their lives to fight human trafficking and to make sure no other person goes through what they did.
Because it isn't going away and I'm still breathing. So as long as I'm breathing, I'm going to do what I can.
Knowing that my mess has turned into my message and that I can help other women feel not alone and walk alongside them really is empowering.
Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.